Hello everybody, we're going to be bringing back the scary animated videos again soon, I promise. But today we're going to be doing 3 Thomas and Friends episodes, 2 from a YouTube channel I haven't reacted to in a while. Kat, will you stop it? Anyways, this first one is Thomas and Friends, It Don't Come Easy. So we're doing 3 Thomas videos today. Anyways, let's go. I do not own Thomas and Friends, which outloads everything, so let's go.
To all those people watching, I'd like to remind everyone that this video is not made for kids. It's for older fans and adults. Enjoy the fucking video.
Okay, what?
Crossly into the junction one day with a stopping train. Thomas was waiting nearby looking cross. 10 minutes late, Henry. I thought you of all engines know how to keep up your timetable. Well, don't blame me solely for the delay, Thomas, Henry snorted. No. It's not my fault I had such a silly passenger. They pulled an emergency call and I got held up over at Crosby because of that. The passenger thought it was to call for beverages, but little do they know about emergencies. I told him off once he disembarked on my train. It felt good telling him off. At least I would have to suffer from his ignorance. Thomas hissed steam loudly, which gave Henry a bit of a fright.
I've never seen Thomas that bad!
Henry, he snapped, you should have done such a thing. Yes, passengers can do silly things, but some passengers can go to great lengths to get back at an engine if they were told off. Why? Henry huffed. Because it happened to me once when I first started working on this branch line. I'll tell you all about it. And he did, and this was the story.
What happened? Oh. Okay, we're gonna skip the intro because I don't want to get in trouble for copyright claims. So.
He's rather impatient, engine, David said. Yes, I heard about him leaving his guard behind from one of the buses. Thomas was cross when he overhears them. He huffed. It's not my fault that those big engines are late. Passengers, what do they know? He would often complain.
You shouldn't complain about them, Thomas!
One day, Thomas was waiting at the junction again for Henry, and as usual, he was getting very cross. Time and time again that slow coach has been late, he huffed, and he hissed steam impatiently. At last, Henry came.
That's Henry's blue! That's Gordon! Trooper, come! Come! Like, Henry is supposed to be green, not blue! Oh, unless they're going by the book where he was blue. He was painted blue in the book, so it wouldn't be surprising if they went by the book on that one. Anyways, let's continue.
About time that you showed up, lazybones. You're late again. But you still don't know what I suffer, moaned Henry sadly. At that time, Henry was in a different shape and was painted blue. He was built with a small firebox and was sold to Sir Topham Hatt I, who was in desperate need of another engine at the time. But Thomas didn't care about that. He wanted to run his branch line perfectly. I don't know why the Fat Controller kept such a failure like you around, he said crossly. And as the guard blew his whistle, he puffed crossly away.
Thomas! Really?
Must be on time, he huffed. But by the time he had reached the next station, he was very late indeed. Oh, bother that Henry, he huffed. Serves you right, said a passenger crossly. How dare you treat Henry like that? Don't you know that your fellow engine is not in the best shape? And all you care about is your punctuality? Of course I do, replied Thomas crossly. I have to go as fast as I can because of that lazy engine. And all I get from the likes of you passengers is complaints, complaints, complaints. That's all you ever do. Silly passengers. Thomas puffed away, leaving the passenger in fury. Annie and Clarabelle weren't shocked by Thomas's reaction. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that, they twittered crossly. That's all what passengers do. They just complain. The 2 coaches knew that Thomas wasn't in the best mood, so they stayed quiet for the rest of the journey. As time went on, more and more passengers were taking the buses. This made Annie and Clarabelle worried. Ha! Scoffed Thomas. Let them take the bus. They'll come back to us. The next morning, Thomas was waking up to start his day.
I'm scared to ask what he did for me. Get back at the engine.
But as he puffed towards some points, he felt a jolt and a crunch beneath his wheels as he fell off the tracks. Ouch! He cried. After shutting off steam, the driver found the source of the crunching sound. It came from his wheels contacting some stones that were wedged against the points so that Thomas couldn't get out. Thomas was furious. "Who did this?" "It was me," replied a voice. It was the passenger from the previous day. "That's what you get for calling Henry names and for being rude to me." Soon the police came and arrested him immediately for damaging railway property. Sir Topham Hatt 1 arrived. He talked to the passenger severely. The passenger also had some words about Thomas and told him about the tank engine. Then Sir Topham went to Thomas. He was not happy with him either. "Well, I don't condone this behavior from Mr. Roberts, Thomas. I think it serves you right for being rude to Henry and your passenger.
Sorry, guys.
We are supposed to be running a railway, but your attitude has been causing our passengers to go on the buses. Once you're back on the rails, you'll be dealing with the quarry trucks until you think about what you had done. I rewarded you this branch line because you are a really useful engine, not because of your deplorable behavior. But, sir, everyone has been saying I've been impatient since I left my guard behind, and I was only trying to show them that I'm not." "Well, you should know that it don't come easy, Thomas," replied a voice. It was the real Glynn, who was left in the siding rusting away after being withdrawn from service. "Running a branch line is hard work. I know because I once ran this line myself." "He's right, Thomas. Edward will be looking after your coaches until you can be trusted again. I gave you this branch line, and one day I'll take it away from you." And Sir Topham left. At the quarry, Thomas had been busy shunting stone trucks around the yard, and he takes them to the junction, where Henry was waiting to take them to the harbour. Thomas apologized to Henry for his words. Henry smiled, and since that day, the two had become good friends. As for Mr. Roberts, he was sorry too. He apologized to Thomas and to Sir Topham Hatt 1 over what he had done, and Thomas apologized too for his comments towards him. "Oh, yes, I remember that now," replied Henry. "You have a point. Passengers aren't perfect, but they shouldn't take to extreme measures just to get their own back. I feel rather silly by telling that passenger off," he sighed. "The same could happen to me as well." "Exactly," replied Thomas. "Next time you see that passenger of yours, I think it's best to apologize before anything extreme could happen." And Thomas puffed away. Later, Henry was at the big station and he saw his passenger. Henry apologized to him for telling him off, and the passenger apologized for pulling the emergency cord.
Good. Oh. All right, let's go to the next video, shall we? This next one is called Dead Weight. We're going to skip the swear and let's get going.
Henry set down the tenders, hissing mournfully. "Ooh, that duck," he hissed. "Fancy
Hang on, everybody. Give me a second. I'm back, everybody. Let's continue.
these sludge-filled tenders. They don't take me seriously anymore. But I'll show them a thing or two." He trudged back to the yards where only Flying Scotsman and Donald were waiting. "Quite the show you put on with those tenders," Scotsman smiled. "Pooh, nothing more than sludge-filled relics," Henry remarked. "Admittedly, I'm jealous," Scotsman continued. "The thought to have more than 2 tenders. I never have to stop. However, I find sufficing with 2 is more than enough." Henry snorted indignantly and flounced off to the sheds. "Aye, you might have struck a nerve there," Donald thought quietly.
I think he
More
struck a
and more
nerve there.
diesels started
I
to
think he
arrive
struck a
on the
nerve there.
The summer rush meant that diesels from the other railway often brought goods to be helped in construction and many other things. Most engines weren't keen on them being such a frequent return. However, Flying Scotsman didn't mind. "I'm well acquainted with diesels on the other railway," he told the engines that night. "Aren't they horrid?" Duck asked curiously. "Some are,
Sorry, I'm still
but I have
watching.
found a good lot of them to be quite friendly. I've had a lot of them help me if I was ever to have trouble building steam or get stuck on a hill." He winked at Gordon.
Gordon,
The other engines
no
laughed,
brother.
all except Henry. "Pah! Henry snarked. I advise you stay away from them. Those mainland diesels just have a bunch of dead weight. They're going to hold you back, my dear engine. Make no mistake. The next morning, the owner spoke to Flying Scotsman. Boco has failed. The Fat Controller asked if we would be open to taking a final train before taking the enthusiasts home. The more the merrier, Scotsman said. It'll give me another chance to stretch my wheels. He reversed into the station where Boco's coaches were waiting for him. Henry was sitting on a nearby platform. The Flying Scotsman buffered up and waited patiently for the guard's whistle.
Oh no.
As soon as he did, Scotsman started off slowly. He didn't get far until suddenly he felt a surge in weight and came to a stop.
What the?
Oh my, whatever is going on? His driver looked back. We didn't take the brake tender off, he cried. Scotsman looked and saw that behind his own tenders sat Boco's low-sitting brake tender. Henry laughed. Well, looks like I was right after all then. How was that for dead weight? Flying Scotsman had to laugh. Soon they had removed the brake tender. Flying Scotsman took the train on. When he returned home, Henry spoke. How do you feel now that you had 3 tenders? It was quite interesting to say the least, Scotsman admitted. You were certainly right about diesels having dead weight, although I don't think this is what you were implying. Henry looked down at his buffers. Never mind, Scotsman continued. I'm sure you'll find that not all mainland diesels are a burden. Just you wait and see. Henry just hoped that he would.
Oh, poor Henry. All right, this last one is called Engines of Sodor. Mike Takes the Road. So let's see this.
Arlesdale Railway is known for its very small but useful engines. It is a huge tourist attraction, and many flock to see the beautiful Arlesdale countryside. The engines were all very busy.
Good God, I hate all this work. Quarry work as well as passengers? What is this, a production line or something?
Oh, stop being an arse, Frank! You only work about 5 hours a day!
We, on the other hand, work about 10.
Stop
Okay.
arguing, all of you. It's a lovely day.
I will say they do look a little creepy. I'll say they look a little creepy.
Breakdown train coming through. Oh, for
Why does
goodness
this look so
sake,
creepy?
you don't have to talk at the same
Why
time.
does this look so creepy?
Wouldn't be identical.
I'm sorry, am I the only one that's thinking that these guys look creepy? I mean, I'm sorry. Creepy. Just give me a second. Guys, come on. And another thing, they don't look like the ones from the show. I mean, Trooper, come. Why do you always have to be so stubborn? Ow. Trooper's wire. I mean, Trooper's dog wire. You get the point, the collar. But anyways, as I was saying, like, am I the only one that's thinking these guys look creepy? Is it just me or nah?
Identical if we didn't.
Come on, Mike. Time to get your train ready.
Well, it's about time.
Make lunch.
Sorry guys, that's my
Make
checklist
lunch.
going off.
Make lunch.
I don't know why I've make lunch 3 times. It shouldn't be popping up 3 times. Ugh.
Mike liked puffing through the countryside on his own. It made him so jolly inside.
Okay.
Ah, this air is absolutely wonderful.
The coaches all agreed. However, Mike's mood changed whenever he had to wait for other
He's like,
engines
no.
to pass by.
Where the devil is he? Why can't Frank wait for me to pass by instead of making me wait for him?
Relax, Mike. We've only been waiting for about 2 minutes. And look, there's Frank.
Good tidings, Michael. I see your paint matches your mood.
Oh, wow. That's
Buzz up,
mean.
Buzzbox.
Mike's favorite part of the line was the forest. He loved it here. It was quiet and peaceful. He wished he could live in the trees rather than on the railway.
He's just like
Mike
sitting
stopped
here.
so the passengers could take
Poop his nose.
photographs.
Why can't the other engines appreciate the forest like
You
me?
know you love
Because
it, Kitty.
everyone has different minds, Mike.
Well, yeah,
We
that's
all
true.
have
Everybody
different
is.
interests. Before Mike could respond, a car suddenly rushed by at a tremendous speed. Shit! What kind of a wanker is driving that?
Ah! I didn't know that. What? I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just not gonna say
You're
anything.
drunk, idiot.
Right. Come on. Let's keep moving.
I'm just not gonna say anything. It's like I want to, but I can't. I just
When Mike
can't.
reached Arlesdale, the car had crashed, and the driver was being questioned by the police. Jock was idling on the turntable.
What happened?
Drunk driver came in about 80 miles per hour. What stupid things road vehicles are.
They do have more freedom, though. They don't have to stick to the rails. They can simply roam wherever they like.
I'd rather keep my rails. You always go where you're meant to go. I don't have as many accidents.
But Mike was wondering what life on the road was like, and he talked about it with the other engines that night.
Oh
Only
no.
a daft engine would actually try to travel by road.
I'm not saying I'd actually try. I just thought being a car would be so much more efficient. You can go anywhere you like.
Well, it's not worth trying, haha. Next morning, Mike was steaming up for his train when Duck came by with some ballast trucks.
Oh no.
Morning, Mike. You look cheerful today.
I am. Hey, Duck. Have you ever wanted to just fly off the rails and move gracefully down the road without a care?
I'm going to have to say no, Mike. Have you?
I've been thinking that road travel is much more efficient than traveling by rail.
Ballast is ready.
I've always wondered what it's like. Bertie and Terrence gave me an idea, but I want to experience it for myself. I wish I could ride on the road for once. Ride on the road? Are you daft? Mike, you make me chuckle. Shut up, Frank. Anyway, it's time to get my train ready.
Well, Mike, don't do anything stupid.
I agree.
Mike
Don't do
was very
anything
busy today
stupid.
and soon forgot all about his desire for road travel. He worked hard all day, running to and from Arlesdale. Soon, he was on his last run back to Arlesborough. Mike was always anxious to get home as soon as possible, as he didn't like traveling in the dark. He had bad experiences at night, including crashing into Frank while trying to find a farmer's lamb without a headlight.
Come on, we gotta get home before dark.
Calm down, Mike. We'll get there soon and you can have a good night's sleep. Not too far down the line, Jock was taking an old truck filled with cement. It was starting to leak,
Oh no! I must deliver this as soon as possible.
and Jock hurried along the line, making the car shudder and shake. Then, a huge dollop of wet cement poured onto the tracks. Jock didn't realize and kept on going. The wet cement eventually dried. Mike was heading straight towards it. He wasn't paying attention to the line and was looking up at the sky. When he and his driver realized what was in front of them, it was too late.
Ooh, good lord. What happened?
Some idiot left some shit on the tracks. I think it's cement. How the hell it...
Again, I want to say what's on my mind, but sometimes there are some things Beth left unsaid.
got on the tracks? I have no idea.
Great. Well, don't just stand there. Fetch some assistance.
I'll play with you in a
The
sec,
driver
Trooper.
did.
Just hang
He
on.
ran
I'm
to the
almost
nearest
done.
telephone box and called for the breakdown
Just
train.
wait,
He
buddy.
came back soon.
Sorry,
We've,
guys. My dog
got a
wants
bit
to
of a
play, and I'm
problem.
just finishing this
There's
up.
more concrete on the tracks ahead, so the blisters can't come with the breakdown train until it's removed, which won't be
What?
until tomorrow.
Blast it. I've got a train full of passengers.
A bus will take them home.
Well, how am I supposed to get home then?
Unless we find another way, you're gonna have to stay put for the night. Oh dear, the road will have a rage tomorrow. Wait a minute! The road! We're only about 900 meters from Arlesborough. We could just have you puff along the road there.
Are you serious? A train go on the road? This is outrageous stupidity!
I
Stay
agree!
here all night, then? And cause road traffic tomorrow?
No, I'll do it, but just this once.
Hey,
Passengers
you want
helped
to
push
experience
Mike
road
onto the
freedom?
road. Mike was terrified. His wheels were wobbling violently.
Oh my Buddha, I don't like this at all.
All right, Mike. Ready? Go! And he pulled the regulator. Mike slowly made his way towards Arlesborough. His wheels weren't used to not being on the rails, and it felt like they would break to pieces any moment. When he had to turn, the workman who had been following behind would lift him and put him in the right direction.
Yikes! Damn it to hell in a handbasket! This is outrageously frightening!
Again, no words. None.
At last, he reached Arlesborough. Donald was there with the breakdown train, as a small railway wasn't accessible by road there. You're a brave wee engine!
Thank you, Donald. Now please get me back on the rails.
Soon Mike was back on the track. He had never felt so relieved in his life.
So,
assist you back to the shed. Stay where you are.
No, I'll go myself, thank you.
And Mike slunk back to the shed.
well, he got to experience his road dream.
I am terribly sorry, Mike. I should have gone slowly with the cement.
Oh no, it wasn't your fault, Jock.
Maybe you'll enjoy it next time. Mike ignored him. Lovely things, Rhodes.
Shut up, Bert!
And Mike said no more that night. Let's just say his desire for road travel is at an end.
Well, everybody, those are the 3 videos. This one, yeah, again, I'm not going to say anything. Anyways, my dog needs me, so I got to get going. I'll see you all in the next video on Monday. Adios, everybody.